Welcome, everyone, back to another edition of Let's Take 5, the podcast where we talk about one of the greats of cinema and discuss their excellence and range. My name is Eric Martindale.
I'm Austin Ligger.
And today we continue our Gene Kelly 5. The previous film we covered was An American in Paris. Today we are covering Singing in the Rain. Next week it'll be It's Always Fair Weather. After that, The Young Girls of Rochefort. And then we'll wrap up with Xanadu. Singing in the Rain, the number 10 movie on the AFI Top 100, is the movie about, stars Debbie Reynolds as Kathy, Don O'Connor as Cosmo, and Gene Kelly as Don Lockwood, as three people that are in movies together. This is the end of the silent era, so we are moving forward to talkies. The silent film stars, obviously, also with Lena, with a very annoying voice, who cannot make the jump from silent features to talkies because her voice is so bad. So Debbie Reynolds will dub her voice, and whoa, whammy, here comes conflict. So, Austin, I was going to probably talk more about that, but I don't really have much more to say about it. What do you think?
I mean,
what do you think, Austin?
It's great.
I'm trying to say really cheery now.
Yeah. You nailed it.
Okay, all right, good.
So, no, I mean, I love this movie. This is such a happy, delightful film. I don't think it is as minute to minute perfect as the AFI does, because there are some parts I go, oh, that's some B+ territory in your perfect soup here. Those are mixed metaphors, much like what happens when you add a B+ into a perfect soup. Mm-hmm. But there is something just so fun about this movie, and it starts it off so quickly because it's such an interesting thing, because this movie was up for basically no Oscars, and there was another movie about Hollywood at the same time called The Bad and the Beautiful, which starred Kirk Douglas as a sinister Hollywood producer, and it's the things you do to get a movie made. It's kind of a darker, it was a lesser Sunset Boulevard, which is what we said last week.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if I said that on the air, but that An American in Paris is the shitty version of Sunset Boulevard
with
as well.
the older woman.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's an artist, too.
Yeah, and that was such a cynical thing, and that was the one that was embraced by the Oscars. This one is more of a celebration of Hollywood, and I think it holds up more than other, I don't know, Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney just put on a show kind of movies, because it is still self-aware enough without breaking the mold, because essentially this is a film that says all of Hollywood is a lie, and it's a really fun lie. The fact that in the very beginning, you have Gene Kelly as Don Lockwood on the red carpet for this movie. They're talking about how much he's in love with Lena Lamont. As film goes on, that's a lie. It's a fake relationship.
Well, you knew it was a lie then because the acting's so bad.
That's true, yeah. Well, wait, are you meta-acting or just acting?
Both.
Okay. But then he tells his backstory to the cameras, and then that's revealed to be a comical lie. Everything about the movie business, they say, is a delightful farce centered around we now need to keep faking everything as you make them laugh. And so to me, that makes the film so much fun as they play with these contradictions and they play with the joy of the movies, and it's fun. It's a really, really fun movie, and there's just an insane amount of talent everywhere as well. So I'm a big fan of this one.
Yeah, I like it. I like it more than American in Paris because
it is another movie.
It's another movie.
It is something other than that.
No, it's more than that. Too. Listen, if this is a movie that everyone's already got their minds made up about, nothing that I say, and this is know this going into a grain of salt. Maybe it's just not with a grain of salt. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea. The things that I'm about to express now are opinion. It's very, very rare for me to talk about an American icon like Gene Kelly and, a pillar of American film history and Singing in the Rain. Because of American in Paris and Singing in the Rain, despite of what the Oscars say, Singing in the Rain is the one we remember, these two films.
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe the most Gene Kelly film, other than maybe Hello Dolly, but probably this too.
Well, in that one, he's not even in. Honestly, I didn't even know he directed it until I looked at the DVD box halfway through.
Right. So yeah, I mean, he directed Hello Dolly, which was beloved by the Academy as well, and then, or at least it got some recognition. Singing in the Rain, because of the Singing in the Rain scene, I think sort of like makes old Hollywood and sort of immortalizes it. Probably encapsulates it better than any film and maybe film history, as far as that scene in particular that I'm talking about. So whatever I'm about to say here, this is just one man's opinion, so no one take it personal out there, okay? And it's not, and Eric doesn't like musical things. I've seen Singing in the Rain on stage, okay? I'm a theater guy.
I never have.
Yes, so...
Does it work?
Better. Much better.
Really?
To me, at least. I mean, you're not going to have Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
The Cosmo that I saw on stage was unbelievable. Stole the whole show, was incredible.
Because Donald O'Connor steals the show here.
Oh, he's great. He's fantastic, too. And he's actually a really, really good actor, which going to kind of lead into that, what I think about it. Okay, so having set up all those, pillars. I'm
so worried right now.
No. I think the movie's a B.
Okay.
It has some problems that American in Paris has, and I'll start with one that I think it does. One is that a lot of times in this movie, like in American in Paris, there's no really good reason to sing. That's important to me in a musical. I don't want the characters singing about what I already know about them. This has the most egregious example of the two. And I hate to compare them back to back, but that's the reference any audience member would have for now, because that's the one episode we've done so far. But so it's March 23rd. They look, oh crap, it's March 23rd. It's 1:30 in the morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is a terrible reason to sing a song. I like that. I like that song.
Okay.
So I like that song.
But that's actually one of the few that has a plot reason.
Because they're celebrating the fact that they have a plan now?
No, because that is the moment after they do this insanely charming number. That is where Cosmo gets the idea for Debbie Reynolds to use her voice.
But that was before they sang.
No, because he even says, sing that part again. Good morning, and then she lip syncs him.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Oh, you're right. But the plan...
Solve one song.
Okay, you solve one song. That's right. But then the song... But even still...
Don't acknowledge the meta world that they just recognize they sang a song. So don't break your brain with that.
Well, no, okay. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm doing.
Okay.
Like I said, I like musicals.
Yeah.
But even with that, even going with that with an example, it's still, the song itself is centered around the fact that they're singing good morning. Mm-hmm. Good morning. Okay. It's not about her replacing her. But it's just...
It felt like to me that it's the best example of the three of them as friends.
Okay, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And actually do agree with that. It was fun to watch them interact, and it actually felt realistic and lived in.
It was funny. I heard an interview with Debbie Reynolds, and she was so terrified of that number because, Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor were such huge stars. And this was her first movie, and she now has to be equal dancers to those two.
Right.
And... I think she's great. I think she's so charming.
I think she
holds her own.
I think she does. I think that the worst person in this movie is Gene Kelly. So anyway,
I like such a strange vibe we're doing.
I know it is.
Well, it's funny because unlike American in Paris, and it's interesting because this is co-directed by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly, and much like I alluded to with On the Town last week, this is a much more generous film. Like, American in Paris is such an ego boost to Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly is really good about, he still has a 10-minute indulgent number, and he still has, big scenes to himself, but to give Donald O'Connor by himself, in the frame, make him laugh the whole time, is, I think, great. I think Debbie Reynolds gets a lot of, great moments by herself. It's a much more generous film than... What's a scene in American Paris without Gene Kelly in it?
No, I get it, but the character still has the same problems. That gets me to my other point, is that this guy is a character that's never ever been wrong. He's never ever truly suffered. he never actually learns anything in this film. He falls in love with a character in the film because he just sees her. There's no actual nuance. He jumps in her car and he just falls in love with her.
Well, no, I'll defend this relationship a bit because the reason why he's attracted to her...
He kind of forces himself on her in the car.
Oh, no, that's still a problem. It's the fascinating thing about what they have in common, and it kind of goes with the lie of Hollywood, where, yes, he did jump in her car to escape his fans, a la the Beatles, but what was different is that I think he first embraced how much she didn't know who he was, and then he actually embraced more about that she lied about it. Because he's also a liar. He's someone who's also kind of lied about his career to get to where he is. Because
I don't think those lies are comparable at all, though.
No,
I think hers is a lot less...
I mean, it's fickle, but I mean... He is very
Maybe
happy.
she just didn't want to have a reason to lay down and worship the feet of him like everyone else is supposed to.
Oh, well, I mean, that too, but which I think he enjoys. But it's the Diane Chambers of it all. Like, he's very entertained to see the hypocrisy which jumps out of the cake at a producer's party kind of thing, whatever that is.
Or he just wants to rub it in her face.
Yeah, it's probably like because she saw herself as elitist, and it's.
But he's elitist, though.
Yeah, and he also should be taken down a peg.
But he's never, and that's kind of my problem.
But he had his fun beginnings because his backstory is that those guys were just poor, and then the only chance they had in Hollywood was they just kind of broke their necks without a union as they were unqualified stuntmen,
right?
During like these kind of B westerns and such. So I just enjoyed that everyone kind of enjoys the delightful bullshit of Hollywood. I mean, Donald Connor keeps switching his job, apparently throughout the whole film, just kind of delightfully, as just the piano man / producer / scriptwriter / whatever it needs to be in the scene.
And that's very fun.
And so I think that there's a connection that they have together that is more noticeable, and also I like the fact that his character is kinder, because when they come up with the con that they could save this movie if they have Dave Reynolds replace the voice.
Okay, hold on a second.
Sure.
That comes... You're forgetting the section of how she's even in that position to begin with. And that's because he gets her hired to get laid.
Okay.
So that is what happens. He gets her a job so she'll be nice to him, which she accommodates. That doesn't work.
I did. It's
he gets her a job. She hates him, or is at least emoting that towards him. I have no reason to not think that, considering he jumps in the car with her, kind of forces himself on her, and she's lying to him, and then she tries to hit him with a cake at a party. So I have no reason to actually believe she actually secretly does like him. It's not like she's playing hard to get. He gets her a job in a movie studio. She realizes he gets her the job, and within 2 minutes, they're singing on a soundstage with the sunset, and her standing up at her window, and the wind's blowing on her, and he's turning on the fog machines and shit, and they're singing a love song. That's not good. That's a bad thing there. What you had was...
I didn't recognize that power dynamic. I can't fully defend it. What I did enjoy, at least with the imagery of it, was once again the commonality they have between the two of them is sharing the lie they both like. And so to have this big window outdoor scene inside on a fake arena, it's using the movie is about using the Hollywood lie,
right? And that metaphor's really great, and the song's really beautiful, and they're really beautiful, and that's good. But don't let that distract you from the fact that if he did not get her a job just then, they never would have talked to each other again because she didn't want to.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And the reason why we're able to gloss over this, which was a problem in American Paris, is because Gene Kelly is so charming. But that's his acting. His acting is his charm. He's a dance man. He's incredible at it. He's good at two things: smiling and dancing.
He's a very good smiler.
Exactly. So if you have him smile the whole time, that's his acting. Like that's his process. And I just don't believe a word he says because that's all he ever gives me is lies and deceit and smiles. And whether they're sugar-coated under this glossy, like, oh, okay, but it's fun, it's charming, and it's going to get to this one point, and it is better for her because she does benefit from this.
But there was something about the way that I liked how she was treated in the back half of the film. Yes, I'm now... I need to rewatch this and worry about the scene now. But the way that once, like, she has the job, but then once they decide that she's going to be replacing the voice of the horrible sounding silent film star, I like that it's Donald O'Connor and the producer going, this is perfect, it's the greatest plot fix, solve their problems. And it's Gene Kelly's character who says, no, I'm against this for the reason of Debbie Reynolds' character doesn't get the credit for the success.
Right.
And that is actually
but
the
that's
only
not
one on the
but
defense.
that's I don't trust that that's for her. You have to remember that he hates Lena at the beginning of the film. He never likes Lena,
it's true,
and he thinks she's a hack, and he's always wanted to get back at her. So for all I know is he's doing it for one of two reasons. Of a potential third, which is he thinks she deserves the credit, which could also be part of it. But one, he wants to get back at Lena for the years of bullshit and her not being a no talent, and he wants to show her up, and which is part of it. That's at least part of it. And
I would say that is for the very end. But I think this moment, like when they're deciding to do the con or not,
no, he ends up hating her. He ends up hating her because she gets him fired. He doesn't like her at the beginning, then he ends up not liking her more because she gets her fired from the job because the cake actually hit her in the face. That's before they develop a plan.
Oh, no, I know, but I mean, at the very, very end when
Gotta get to my other point.
Sorry.
So the fact that he already hated Lena to begin with, also because he at least he thinks he loves Lena. Or not Lena, Debbie Reynolds, Kathy. So, again, something he's doing for himself.
See, I'm more. I think he's more sincere in this moment. I think it's because it was that argument which causes the producer to go, okay, this is going to be a one-time thing, and then we're going to give her her proper credit of being a star in her own right in other films. Basically, it was giving her the Hollywood points. That way, she can be a better star on her own because she deserves the credit. So at the very end, once Lena then takes it too far, basically says, you're going to fix all my films for me, and then they decide to publicly embarrass Lena. Success is ultimately done. You have the downfall of the villain, but it's also succeeded through Deborah Reynolds succeeding on her own. You have the entire audience there live going, she is that good of a singer. So it's a multi-done thing where it's not just like...
After he doesn't tell her the truth and makes her cry as she runs away.
Onto the stage?
Yeah, or cries on the stage. For some reason, withholds that from her.
For the big moment.
I know the big moment, but there's no reason not to tell her, oh, by the way, we're going to pull the curtain down. Why couldn't she be in on that gag, too? I think it's just more of, like, boys running the show type of bullshit. I just don't...
It removes her from having to, like, bring down the villain, I guess. Like,
do you think that's why they did it?
I don't know.
I mean, that's like, I guess what I'm saying, like, in general, is like this movie can be good and still have problems, and it does. A lot of it has to do with the era and the times, and I'm reflecting on it in a completely unfair light because I'm not there. Or I wasn't there, I wasn't alive then. I don't know what it was like. I can only say, for my sake now, I don't think Gene Kelly's a very good actor, which is going to make this 5 really interesting. And I think he's an incredible dancer, and he's got a beautiful smile, and that got him places in life. Obviously, he can sing too,
and he's a good director.
And he's a good director. I feel like a good director wouldn't have made the long scene at the end of the film.
Nope, that's still him.
I mean,
like I said last week, I do like this one better. I think it at least fits in with the themes of the movie better because it is still about the silly rise in Hollywood.
We're talking about specifically the 10-minute
indulgent thing.
Yeah.
It's deflated slightly.
It's 10 minutes better than American in Paris.
It is, and I mean, also the joke is, I mean, I think. Luckily, unlike American Paris, I mean, there's some amazing musical numbers, but I think there's a ton of just really funny scenes without music in it. And I love the scenes where the studio has to deal with sound for the first time and just like deal with the mics and all that kind of like technical failings.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrible gag.
I enjoyed it.
The director is already angry at the start of the gag, so he has nowhere to go by the end of the gag.
It's sort of a bit big, but it is. It amused me.
Yeah.
It's amusing to watch.
I guess it could have. I feel like it could have been better. It felt very. And this is again a lot of these. I'm levying criticisms at a musical from 1952. So to say it feels like it's too staged is probably an unfair criticism, but it felt like theater to me.
This is still such a huge jump up visually than so many musicals of the 40s. You know,
but it's just like, like when you're on film, you play to a stage that's right in front of your face. In straight theater, you play to a stage that goes out about 30, 40 feet. In musicals, you play to one that could go out for 200, 300 feet. And sometimes scenes like the director in this scene, he's playing to a stage that is going where the guy in the back row can see, but also it's too big for the guy sitting 4 feet away from the TV.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Even for a movie like this.
You know what's crazy? I saw Young Frankenstein on stage. It was free at Ball State, and I love the movie. I figured I should check out the musical. Love the produced musical. When they just did the scene when they're looking for a dead body, and they still did the simple gag of Igor hiding behind the shelf, being ahead. Boy, that doesn't work in the middle of the theater. That is like it was the smallest gag in a giant Broadway musical.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's why the musical failed. Not the one gag. I did leave during intermission because it was free and bad.
Now, okay, obviously there are great things in this movie. In particular, Debbie Reynolds' performance, Donald O'Connor's performance, and specifically the make 'em laugh scene.
It's just perfect, right?
It's just perfect. It's great classic Hollywood cinema, a fantastic song and dance number played by an extremely charismatic actor. You could forgive this song if, again, here's why this song works too. And I was about to say, if again, because it's not advancing the story at all, but it's providing characterization for him. That's that's his big introduction to what we're going to expect from him the rest of the film. And he and the different energy he's going to offer than Gene Kelly.
Because he's not a fully fleshed out character. He exists as a Marx Brother. I mean, he's going to be there for the gag to walk away with another gag. Like
which is why this song is so important and this early at this location in the film.
This is my mentality towards the world. It's even as the best friend role in any sort of movie to encourage the main character to be more like this and to have the song keep progressing with the desperation for a laugh as he is hysterical with that mannequin and then just brilliantly ending with him running up the walls and those incredible jumps in the same take and then flying through one.
Spoilers, the Singin' in the Rain I saw, the guy ran up the wall and then went through the wall. So that does happen in the musical. They at least are casting Cosmo when they do. I feel like it's like third down on the list. It goes, can you dance? Check. Yeah. Can you sing? Check. Can you run out and flip up a wall?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt did that song as his opening for SNL. That was his monologue. And I'm watching this going, you better do it. And he did it. He ran up the walls.
Yeah.
It was more obviously tilted. It could have hid that a bit better. It's a live show. But he did run up the walls and fall through one. And
got to.
Is he more excited to be doing that number than to be hosting SNL? And he was very excited to be hosting SNL.
So you have that. Moses Supposis is fine. That
one's fine.
It's fine. It's just famous, so I feel like it has to be talked about. But the Singin' in the Rain.
It is great.
Yeah.
It is so great, and I think that also plays off it's after Good Morning, right? Like we're after Good Morning?
Is it? I can't remember.
Oh, sorry.
I can't remember. I did too.
It's just that idea of like the character is in a very happy place, and it's because of his relationship with Debbie Reynolds, but also with Donald O'Connor. He just likes his friends and likes the world he is, and
he loves himself.
Big fan. And just to embrace that contradiction with the idea of just singing in the rain, what is supposed to be an unpleasant experience, being in the rain. The rain is awful. Dog be in the rain. But that song, it is so joyful, and it's iconic, and the movie is so... It knows how to play with the soundstage, like we mentioned earlier, with that song, and other elements of the Hollywood life, this is so smooth looking. It's actually really not flashy, whereas it could have been. It's very graceful.
Yeah, it's one of the few moments in the film that, and I love when a musical can do this, when I can forget it's a musical and just see, raw emotion. Like, show me, even if I don't always buy it in this film, which I don't, but to show, at this point, I can actually believe that he's in love with Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's what that caused him to feel.
This is, yes. And the fact that he can be in the rain without his umbrella and just let it pour down raining on him and he's elated still, it's a simple touch, but that's what Singing in the Rain really means is I'm in love.
Yeah. And
rather than just singing about love as an emphasis on, oh, hey, love, I'm in love, this breathes new life in it because he's singing in the rain. And that's different.
Something that Kelly does I really love at the beginning of that song is that he actually starts to sing rather quietly, as if he just has a song stuck in his head. In a way, so he's caught himself starting to sing aloud. Mm-hmm. And it's that kind of thing where, like, you're so happy to realize you're humming. That's what the mood he started at the beginning of that song. So it allows him to go bigger. When he does, it feels spectacular.
Yeah. When he gets up on the lamppost, that's right there. You can make an argument is the most iconic image in Hollywood history.
Yeah.
And it is. It almost feels understated, but that's what the movie kind of needed.
Well, and there's no other dancers around. There's in fact there's like maybe one other person.
Not really that flashy. It's just him.
So pretty, yeah.
And the way he moves, the dexterity that he has is on full display because it's not a big dance number, but he's just so smooth. In particular, I love when he hands the guy the umbrella at the end of the song.
Now it's your turn to be happy.
Yeah. Like he's literally.
Like also, I don't need it. Like,
I don't.
I'm happy to be where I am.
Exactly, too. And that's what I, get out of it as well. Just that I don't need the umbrella. I'm perfectly content right now. The world couldn't be better in the middle of this rainstorm, and that's fantastic. And like I said, kind of, and you might hear me repeat this a lot. There are moments in these movies because they call time out a lot. Like, it almost feels like a commercial break. This didn't really feel like that to me, which is a plus, but also, like, this scene, I feel like, exists incredible outside of the film. Mm-hmm. Like, just this scene itself, without even the context of it, you can gather these things, and it can be meaningful. Like, it's a great YouTube clip.
Yeah. Because...
like, you don't need the rest of the film to understand that.
Well, the rest of the film, I think, adds to it, though. I think at least because I do like the relationship so much between the two of them here, that I don't know, it helped me believe more that he's.
I don't want to say that it doesn't add to it because I don't think the film deserves that criticism, but I think that there's some powerful imagery there that you don't.
Sure.
You don't need the rest of the film. And that's... I'm really honestly not trying to... I know I've been negative on this podcast, but I'm actually not trying to knock the film there. It's just that good of a scene to me.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible.
I remember I saw, the Carl Sagan Pale Blue Dot essay, and him read that, and it ends on this... The one that's on YouTube ends with, like, this really, like... powerful note. That's obviously a powerful essay too, and it ends with him walking down the street and handing the umbrella to the guy. Like, it's powerful. Really? Yeah, it's a powerful image outside of because there's a lot of humanity in that scene that's on display there that I feel like's not necessarily bigger than the film, but in and of itself encapsulates a lot about us, and I think it's quite good.
All right. I mean, if for some reason you haven't seen Sing in the Rain and decided to listen to it for a half hour, go check it out. Or check it out again.
Yeah.
Or just check out that scene.
Or watch that scene on YouTube.
Yeah, it's great.
And see if you agree with us.
Next week, we're going to be doing another Gene Kelly film, also directed by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly, but this one is purposefully messier in terms of theme and story, and I'm excited to revisit that and talk about that. It is called It's Always Fair Weather. Until then, you can leave us a comment about what you thought of Singin' in the Rain over at theartofmore.com. While you're there, check out other podcasts, including The Immortals, which yesterday we reviewed Best Picture winner Midnight Cowboy. We had some squidding pasta. And I reviewed Lars von Trier's horror TV show, The Kingdom. Oh boy. It was crazy. Ad Absurdum has a episode about Inception, and soon they're going to be covering The Purge, which I'm excited to hear about what the hell is legal about The Purge. And, yeah. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Immortals Pod. Email us at letstake5@theartofmore.com. Music was provided by Adam Lord. He can be found at songsbyalord.com. Where can we find you?
If I make constant aversion, same bad time, same bad channel.
They have a ton of great videos. You should check them all out multiple times and share them all. All at once. But,
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, nailed it.
I love you, man.
Nailed it. All right, and until next week, I'm Austin Luger.
I'm Eric Martindale.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I'll walk down the lane with a happy refrain, just singing, singing in the rain, dancing in the rain. I'm happy again.